Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. This is Luke Johnson for KnowYourPoker. Today I'm going to be playing 1 hour at GG Russian Cash NL25, completely unedited. Maybe there'll be a few micro edits here and there if I just take a sip of tea or something, but for the most part this is going to be a completely raw video, and it's going to be a way for you guys to hopefully chill, to be playing 1 hour of poker and get some tips and tricks along the way. Going to just bet really large here and get a ton of folds because he snap checked the king river and he's going to be very exposed here. I'm going to have some showdown, but I expect the bet outperforms the check. A bit about me if you've never watched the channel. As I mentioned, my name is Luke Johnson and I play online mid to high stakes, heads up and six-handed, cash games only, no tournaments, apart from if there's a random heads up tournament, which never happens. And yeah, the goal with this video is to have you guys sweat along the way for the next hour. Going to be discussing my thoughts. Going to play very exploitatively today and try and tell you some tips and tricks theoretically, and if I notice anything, exploitatively. So let's jump in. Going to play just the two tables. Viewers have told me in past videos they prefer one. However, I don't want to sit here in one table for the next hour, so I'm going to play two. I'm going to fold this 3x RFI. I do pay attention to open sizes. Usually the 3x open is a bit stronger than the smaller open sizes. Plus he's short stacked as well. I'd rather him be deeper stacked because then I've got more room to manipulate the pot when I'm in position to him. Going to take my option to bet here, ace of hearts, overcard to the queen. My 4 does block the 4-3 suited here. I expect check back ranges are going to be quite capped to a bunch of ace highs and just random stuff. I obviously can check against that range, but I prefer to bet. Or I get raised. Okay, that's kind of bizarre. Maybe he picked up exactly the 3 there. But I did block it. This is a little bit of a loose defend. We'll pay attention to timing sizes. Great, they both check pretty fast. Going to go half pot and then almost always follow through the river unless I get a 7 or a 4. Even then, probably still see bet. These fast checks are very exposed here. Plus, I tell a pretty good story. I'm in the big blind. I've got loads of random 10s, loads of random flushes, so I don't even need to size up that situation to already instill some fear to them. Hey everyone, quick intermission to let you know that the highly requested Know Your Poker Discord is now live. Links on screen and below, so come on in and chat some poker with some like-minded players. I'll see you there. Like I mentioned, this is going to be completely unedited, so you're going to get some points of downtime as you guys would do in your own regular grinds. I'm aiming for this video to be kind of like a chill video as well, not purely educational, but also hopefully entertaining if anyone wants to watch me play for an hour. Maybe nobody does, but I'm sure there's at least one person out there. Going to go half pot, pay attention to his response to this, mainly with his timing. I don't know if this is a real named player, probably not. I'm not sure. I should try and get a gist for who's professional in this pool. So let me have the lobby on my other screen, because that's pretty important to see who is the professional players and who are the recreationals. This player's recreational already. We know that because he's min-opened. He could have misclicked, but on average it's going to be recreational. Plus, without trying to sound big-headed, it's 25 NL, so most players, even if they are professional, are not going to be super strong. Going to check. You can bet, you can check. Now I'm going to take my option to bet here. I'm going to go half and he's going to fold the river or the turn. He's checked very quickly twice. It's very unlikely he's got a good hand here. A lot of decisions in poker are just close. So you could bet the flop there. You could check the flop. It's really not that important. I'm going to open 3x. It's kind of annoying that I can't make it exactly 3 because of the stake. Because of the yellow tag and big blind. So playing 25 NL, the small blind's only 0.4, so I can't just use the mouse wheel to get to 3 so easily. That's a little bit triggering. Fast 3 bet, just going to be calling my pocket 10s here. Looks to be probably some kind of regular. Okay, cold call. will come along for the ride. 10 of diamonds dealer. That's not a bad flop. No 10 of diamonds, but I've seen worse flops, definitely for pocket 10s here. Mark this guy short stacked. We'll do a bit of marking this video. We'll check it on over to the PFR. I expect they are going to... Well, that's great. I can just check fold the flop here. What I was going to say is I expect they don't slow down here. I think players are going to over fast play. So a big fast multi-way bet is just a nightmare for pocket 10s. Just get out of there already. We'll come back to that hand. We'll see showdowns. But yeah, that's a pretty easy fold. Even if the small blind had folded, I'm just folding there. Yes, we're backdoor straight. Yes, we're backdoor flush. But realistically, if we're only aiming to draw to the backdoor straight, backdoor flush, backdoor quads, then we should just be folding. If this was a smaller open size, I'd probably get involved, but as is, I will fold this. Hopefully you guys can hear me well with the microphone. I expect a lot of my viewers are playing around this level. If this video goes down well, I can definitely make some more of these. Maybe playing some higher stakes in the future, maybe playing some lower stakes. We'll see. Just fast fold the 9-7 there. Probably could open it, but I'm not playing this pool to etch out every small win rate. I'd rather play... Well, this guy's very short stacked. I'd rather not try and play too wonky pre-flop because I don't think it's very helpful. I say that as I open Queen Jack. I don't think it's too helpful to start players playing pretty wide, mark them. Yeah, if I... you can battle check this one. I actually should open my RNG because I do think some spots are worth RNGing. I'll be doing that off screen. Anyway, to get into my point, if I start playing really, really loose pre-flop, I don't think it's going to be so objective to help people because in order for them to learn, they need to start opening really wide, and it's not going to be great. So I'm going to be playing aggressively post-flop, but pre-flop I'll try and keep it in line. Should just be doing my yellow tags on people. Yellow is, if it wasn't obvious, is some kind of recreational player. So whenever I see a short stack, I'm going to be doing that. Like this. Would recommend you guys do this as well, if you get the chance. He ticks, X-fold, pre, worth noting. He might not be recreational, but definitely note those players because you can open very wide against them. Also means if you do open, if you do limp and they snap check, you know their range is pretty garbage. This guy's name is very clever, so it's Musclicker, not Misclicker, and U is next to I on the keyboard. At least I assume he's named it that way. Maybe not, but I like the name either way. So don't just fold the 10-4. Wait for it to come to you. Gut shots, or should I say nut shots, doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. If you do check, pay attention to timing sizing. Great. So now it's going to be most likely my hand here because I don't think he checks us straight enough at the time. He does have some 2 pairs, but we'll see his reaction. Not my boards. I don't even block the ace-10 here. I'm going to be check folding this. I'm not giving up the hand. Well, I will be if he bets. I can do some stuff later on. But right now, this is his situation. It's his board. He's in position. He can take it. Small sizing. Likely professional. Mucking. Ace queen will be 3-betting. Yes, he stabbed very small 5th pot. I still think my hand is probably break even, and I'm not going to play that marginal spot. I'd rather just check fold it. Blocking the jack twice is quite nice. Go with small bets. Fast call. Don't block the ace-3 now, which is a shame. I think I'll check. Have other hands to be using instead here. Just ace-queen with a diamond, for example, would be better than this. Ace-queen with the ace of hearts. Mix it up. bet this time with a 9-8. Big stab. Big stab. Not believing him, as you can tell. Was I right? I was wrong. I was wrong, but right. No, I wasn't. I was just wrong and wrong. I was lucky on the river. Yeah, I didn't believe him. He was a very high VPIP. And I didn't think he'd bet that sizing with a 9. So he's telling me he's got a strong jack, which I block with the queen jack, ace jack blocker, or a 3. And I decided they don't have enough bluffs. Yes. Oops. How do I chat to people? Here. I don't play GG much in my regular games. And the times I don't usually chat to people. And I can't even... Sorry, man. I can't even... This is actually pretty thin on the river, by the way. This might be a mistake. You have to excuse me because I wasn't paying attention. I can't see where the chat box is. So, yeah, to you, you might see this video. I apologize. I'm not replying to you, but I'm trying to. I think this is a mistake on river, by the way. I think this is actually a check. This is for the video. Okay, good. So it looks like I win. Oh, wow. Sorry that I couldn't reply to you. This is this is definitely a donation. This is a very bad call. Goes without saying. But I appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the videos. I'm glad that I was actually value betting that time. Otherwise, it would be a little bit tilted. What's this guy? The big blind, looking like a bit of a tight player. We'll open big into him. Let's try and... This is the player to play against, right? Oh, wow. So very fast 3-bet. At equilibrium, kings is a mix between call and 4-bet. You don't always have to 4-bet. But when he snapped 3-bets to my big open sizing, he's very rarely going to be folding to my 4-bet, so I'll always do it. Oh, good fold. Show him 1 king. Fair enough. I didn't think I would get many folds there, to be honest. Mix it up half the time. 4-bets. Call this time. Limping is going to be very capped at this limit, in my opinion. Snap check. Okay. Alright, it could be getting stacked here, but I like my blockers of the king, and this is a very, very, very scary turn for him to deal with. So I'm just going to go for it. Start with the small bets. 5-3. You can see that my play does consist of some theory. You can see I'm thinking about blockers and positions and whatnot, but there's a lot of exploitative thoughts that are interlaced as well. I think that's the key to becoming a pretty good poker player, is to entertain both. I'm going to check here with nothing, and I'm going to bluff the river. This is a limped pot that I've, rather a limp raise pot, so I can just have random 10-3 off and 10 deuce off and all this junk, so yeah, I'd rather do that. River, I don't think it makes too much sense to go for a huge bet, so I'm just going to go for a B70 here. I don't think this is actually going to be super successful, but his line's been very, very capped. He's just limp called pre, and then check called a small bet. So I don't think he's going to have so many easy defends in that situation. Snap check. I would usually bluff this spot enough, a lot, but not with the king 9. King 9 has got to be the most unattractive hand to bluff here. As he says that, he's going to bet 2.5 times the pot on the river. He doesn't have a call here, basically. He doesn't snap check the ace twice. He might snap check the flop, he doesn't snap check the turn. So if he's got a queen, he doesn't call to that sizing. So again, you can see that there is some theory for my play, because I know that he's quite capped on the turn. I'm still not going to bluff king 9 though, because it's just too bad of a hand to bluff. But then there's a second data point, which is that he snap checked the turn, and the ace completed, so I actually can now rep trips, and then I can do something exploitative. I don't think he bluffs the turn enough into me, so I'm going to bet myself. I'm going to bet for a kind of a whatever sizing here, 40%. Hopefully no folds. And I'll go for the check, because that's the only way I get a lot of money in here. ISO the... And would you have king jack? Okay, fine. Interesting board. Let's check call it. He's a high VPIP, low PFI. He's got a bunch of stuff that I'm beating. Testing. Okay, good. I am recording. Now you know it's completely unedited because I'm going to keep that in. Big sizing. Check call. Hope he keeps on barreling. I am not shoving this. He's got just too wide of a VPIP. 45 VPIP. Just keep his bluffs in. Pretty great run out for me. Uh-oh. Fuck me. Wow. Dilts. This is where we need to cope. I just say, I'm glad this is at NL25, not NL2K, because that would have been absolutely tilting if that was at NL2K. We'll check turn. This is a bad hand to continue. And we got showdown. How did a 45 VPIP player just go runner into nuts against my hand there? Absurd. Queen 10. So this guy knows me. I think he's got a lot of boats with his sizing, actually. I think there's a lot of traps. Yeah. I think, yeah, whatever. I'm not folding still. Cool. Backdoor straight, snap check, easy bluff for me on flop. And I've always got the best hand here, it feels like. Now, do I go for a greedy 3 streets or do I check and call rivers? And bet, check, bet. I guess I'll just bet, check, bet here. I'm going to go small because I think he's very capped. I called the 5s because of the big blind recreational. Oh, yeah. This is kind of annoying because the 5 of clubs actually gets there. But then again, okay, so if I lose the hand, 2 things have happened. He's rivered pocket 5s, which is very unlikely. Or he's rivered a straight or flush that had no intention of betting flop because he snap checked and snap called. Which means he snap check called a draw, which is unlikely. So therefore I call. And he's bluffing. So, great. Thought process there, I think was pretty clear, is that he snap checked the flop and he snap called the flop. And his river story, when he check raises river, is he's rivered a straight or a flush. Which means we have to give him the straight draws and flush draws and flop, which in my opinion is unlikely. Gonna have to call here. Not thrilled about this spot, but I have to call. Also, I should have raised pre. This is autopilot. I should always be squeezing pre against the short stack. This is a bad call from me. Yeah, whoops. Let's see what happens. Do I get punished? Probably if he's checked this river. Oh wow, I actually saved money. Okay, cool. Good call from me pre-flop apparently. Tag the short stack. Tag the short stack plus limper ISO. It's a very, very loose ISO, but I will probably play well in position to them. I'll make the correct value bets, make the correct bluffs, make the correct folds, hopefully. So you can deviate a lot. I did say earlier that I'm going to try and play well pre-flop, but hey, if I see a spot like this, I actually think you should ISO this as well. If you play well post-flop, this is easy call on river. Never fold river here. He's scrolling up. I'm still not folding. Very easy call. And King 8, we're going to get involved. This is a theory play. I probably should have sized up a bit pre-flop. It's a bit loose. Let's say that I'm just not going to fold the mixes. That's a good way to go about it. More short stacking, tagging. Getting infinite to 1, but still folding. Calling with this player behind me in the small blinds. Also thinking a bit about the Ace-5, where Guy runnered the Jack 10. Still very happy with my line there, by the way. You can see that I got him to put a lot of money in behind. Unfortunately, he did river the nuts, but I'm still liking my line there. Gonna block, turn, and bet river. It's very unlikely I'm beat here with the way he's played the hand, so I think I just can go for an exploitative bet twice. Small sizing is just to kind of make him suspicious of me. You can definitely size up there. It's not like the my small sizing is the only play. There's other options. So a thought process that I like having when you lose a big hand is, if you were put in the same situation, this person's avatar is horrendous. How do you block that one? Gonna have to see that for the next hour. Fantastic. Folds and tag. Ironically, their bet's probably fine, but still, they're going to be short stacked and fishy. So I was speaking about, yeah, was your line good? So when I lose a big hand, I think, would I have done the same thing if I were given that spot again? If I could go back in time without knowing what's to come, would I do the same actions? And with the ace-5, I would. I would raise pre, I would check call flop, I would check call turn, and I would check call river. So, therefore, if you would literally do the same thing again, then it's a little bit foolish to be frustrated about it. Of course, that's easier said than done. But it is a little bit of a way to deal with those losses. Very small SPR, I can just get the money in easily. I'm not going to shove turn. It's very hard to see a bad river with this hand, honestly. And I block his bluff, so we'll just go again with the bets. I think I'll take some time, just because I think he might be a bit more curious. Anyway, he doesn't fold enough here. Recreationals really don't like folding on these blank river cards. And cool. Ace-8, we'll bet again here. 2/3 turn, 2/3 river. You can go bigger on turn. In fact, you're supposed to go bigger on turn. But I'm value betting, so I exploitatively size down, because I think his range is exploitatively weak. So I'll bluff for a big sizing. Oh, man. Probably not folding this, by the way. I would bluff exploitatively big, and then I'd value bet 2/3. This is annoying because I have the 8 blocker, and I block ace-7, I block ace-6. It's not a particularly attractive bluff spot for him. Nah, I'm going to make a discipline fold. I think that's a bad call if I make it. My hand is fantastic to call, and I'm still going to fold. Also, the 8-9 of spades that I block there, or the 8-9 whatevers, pretty often bet the flop. It's a nice betting hand. As is the ace-7 and ace-6. So yeah, I think I'm going to make a good laydown and not just level myself. Something I want to say as well is, because there's going to be an hour-long video, there's going to be a lot of comments about hands. Why did these things? As I mentioned earlier, in poker, you can do a lot of different things, and they can all be quite close. So, for example, there with the ace-8, I bet 2/3, and I didn't explain the reason why. I did it later on in the hand. And someone could say, why did you bet 2/3? Because you should bet bigger in theory. Just going to put a note on this player. This is an interesting line. I want to keep an eye on them. So someone might comment on the ace-8 thinking, you should bet bigger. Why did you do that? And yeah, they're right, I should. But the point I'm making is that I might not play perfectly in every situation. So, or there might be other reasons behind it that I didn't go into at the time. So yeah, don't look at my play so literally and think that what I'm doing is the only option, because there's definitely many other options you can do. This is an interesting spot with the queens. By the way, call pre-flop, don't 4-bet this hand. At this stack depth, it's going to be just too much of a losing play. Tank check. Check back. Reason is, I don't expect him to call down 3 streets. It's pretty hard for him to call down. Like, he can have jacks occasionally, but also jacks is my bet. So by checking, I think I can actually allow him to make more mistakes. If I go bet, bet, shove, unless he hero calls ace-king, I think I actually run into too many traps. Now I'll definitely bet the turn. You're supposed to size down here. If you run this spot, you're actually supposed to block. And exploitatively, I actually think this works well as well. this is not a bad river at all. He very rarely has pocket nines. He very rarely has 7-8. He very rarely has diamonds. So whilst 3 hands got there that I should be losing to, I'm not concerned at all. I think I've got a pretty easy bet here. I'm going to take some time. And then I'm going to go full pots. Because I think it might look a bit bluffy. And I'm just targeting ace-king to make a big hero call. He's very often got ace-king in this line. Ace-king with the diamond? 10s with the diamond. Okay, well, he does have 9s if he's got 10s. But still, he doesn't have the 7-8 and diamonds. It's very unlikely for him to have that. Jacks will definitely check. Snap bets. Not thrilling at all here. I get very good odds though. I need to only write. I've got 20% odds to call. I think I have to make it. Lose to a queen? Yeah, fair enough. Remember that your odds on the turn are very good. So I think a lot of players might think he's always got a queen without sizing. One, he doesn't always have a queen. You should not think in absolutes. That's something that I say very often in coaching, is do not think in absolutes, because you're playing a game of incomplete information. Especially in my situation, I don't know the player. He's not across from the table. At least he's across the hypothetical table, but I'm not literally seeing him across the table from me. So I don't know who he is. I don't know how he's feeling. I don't know if he's just lost a big hand. And I only need 20%. So do not think in absolutes. It's a big leak. They always do this. They never do that. In truth is, ironically, never the case. It's always going to be partially true. I'm going to call here because it's actually short stacked. I don't want to 3-bet this hand versus a rec. This is a GTO 3-bet, but I don't like 3-betting versus recreationals with this hand. The recreationals actually underfold to 3-bets. So with a hand like this that wants a fold, I feel like I'm shooting myself in the foot a little bit. We'll check, see his timing. We'll do the same trick from earlier here. I can't go too big because he does just actually have a jack sometimes. So I think we'll do something like 15. Cool. Tick X fold as well. Nice to know. Next time, just bet 1. No need to bet 3 times the pot if he ticks check fold. Just put the minimum investment in, knowing that it doesn't matter. Open and tag big blinds. Same player ticking check fold. Okay. Oh, cool. 10-8 could get interesting. Okay, block all of those king 10, queen 10, jack 10 combos. We'll start with small bets. It's not an ideal turn. Calling king 8, nothing else to do really. Chop with king 10, king 9 now. Not folding river card. Not folding this river. We'll always be calling. He just randomly donks second pair there. Bets twice. Not sure why he did that. Also not going to complain. Check. Very bad board for me here. Really exaggeratedly long time and then bets a third pot. Okay, well, cool. That's a pretty good river. Quick 2/3. Wow, really? Feels like I'm beat. I've got to be right 30% of the time. Am I good 30% of the time here? I honestly don't know. For the video, I call. Objectively, this might just be a fold because I block 8-6, 8-7 as bluffs. Yeah, this doesn't feel good. I will not call for the video. I should play good poker, right? You guys are watching me to hopefully play good poker, so if I'm just making some stupid call for the video, it's pointless. I think it is worth more to just make a good fold. Wow, ace is infinitely deep here. We'll try and go for a big 3-bet. Regular. So yeah, he sizes down the turn and takes a long time about that as well. I'm not sure what that really means. And then on an ace, sizes up. Now, of course, you could think about it through the lens of an ace is a 4 straight. He might continue bluffing. But if you noticed, he sized up and bet very quickly. And usually, if an ace comes on river and they size up and bet quickly, it's very often a good hand. It's not always a good hand, as we spoke about earlier, don't think in absolutes, but I don't think it's a bluff 30% of the time. So I make a good fold there. At least I believe it's a good fold. Interesting turn card. Gonna start bluffing my hand here. Alright, I'm all in. This doesn't make much sense. Don't think it needs to make much sense either. It would just do well. If you think about it, unless I have exactly aces or ace-jack, and even then ace-jack might not just go for the shove, but yeah, it's going to just do very, very well. He snap-checked, and then he snap-called. So he had no intention of betting, and then no intention of raising. Now, sometimes they were actually thinking about betting, but they snap-checked to check-raise. So the fast check in isolation is not a damning read, but when you compound the two together, he didn't take any time and checked, and then he didn't take any time and called, then you know for sure that his hand is not very good, because no one goes with the double trap there. They might go for the trap into check-raise, but they won't trap into check-call. So yeah, you just shove, you make money. I'm still going with my small 3-bets. It's what I like doing. This guy's a regular as well. Yes, I'm playing very deep stacked. It doesn't matter to me. I like doing my small 3-bets. Forces him into an awkward situation. He has to start defending all these random hands, which is quite annoying to him. We'll check call river here. Lots of random bluffs for him. 5. It's a fair price. Okay. I don't want to raise my hand there. I lose to Queen 10. I lose to King Queen. I don't think he's going to be calling much worse. I don't think he sizes up the river with a... If you think about it, the Ace Queen is the only kicker that plays there. If he's got Ace Jack, it's the same hand as Ace Deuce. So unless he's got Ace Queen, I don't think he's bet calling the river. So yeah, I think I'd rather just call that spot. This guy's short stacked. Therefore, we're going to go for a small bet. Pay attention to his response. If he snap calls, I'm going to be barreling turn. If he folds, I'm going to win the hand. So against recreationals, you get a lot of data points from them for free or for a very cheap price. Professionals, especially at high stakes, don't give you that data as much or as easily. But when you play low stakes, you just got to watch what they do, be curious about what they're doing, and you can read a lot into it. Double block the Jack 10 here, which is nice. I'll check. Very good blockers to straights now. Going to bet small. I don't think he's got a Jack too often. It's not impossible for him to have a Jack here, by the way. I'm good. It's kind of a nonsense bet in theory. It doesn't make any sense, but I think he's quite capped. So you can see that I know my play's bad in theory. In fact, part of being a good exploitative player is to understand the theory, to understand what should happen, and therefore, when someone does something weird, you know, hey, that doesn't make much sense because the theory suggests this. So ironically, you need to be playing pretty well in theory to actually be a good exploitative player. I bet big here because this is the best way to put money in. I don't think it's a check raise the ace queen 6 rainbow board. But again here, not too big. I don't want to scare him off with his random ace 5s. I think if he had a 6, he would lead. So I presume he's got some worse ace here. And I'm just going to target that. Let's go with a 26 big blind sizing. It's hard to fold an ace at this point for him. And my kicker does play here just. I'm not. The only hand I lose to is actually ace jack. Ace queen would have usually raised the flop. Ace jack doesn't have to raise the turn. He still loses to aces and queens and jacks. Ace queen, king 10. And the 6 that rivered there, 6x of hearts, I think would lead the river, or at least would think about leading. He's checked pretty fast, so I felt pretty safe about that. You can see how easily I chip up at these stakes. It sounds very arrogant saying that, I understand. But really, the way I came up the stakes, I played Zoom poker coming up the stakes from NL10 to NL500 Zoom back on PokerStars when that used to run. And yeah, it's all about chipping up. It's all about these small edges. I've got pretty decent stacks on 2 tables, and that's even losing the stack that I had at ace 5 against that guy's jack 10. I've made some pretty nice calls. There was the 8-5 where he check raised really, really, really big on the river, and I said it didn't make much sense. I made some nice folds as well. So it's about playing solid and understanding where you are. This guy is recreational. I like check raising my hand on flop actually as a nice bluff. Some backdoors, blockers and things. Block ace 10. It's a nice turn. It's hard for him to have a flush here when I've got the jack of hearts. Go with the half pot style, 2/3 sizing. Yeah, I can see myself doing this one. Backdoors to the flop with the flush and 2 pairs and straight draws and things. Would have been an interesting river. King 3, okay. DMMB SRP means doesn't make mandatory bluff in a single raise pot. Should definitely bluff the river, but he didn't do it. Also, he opened king 3 off, but I missed that note. Is the guy professional or not? He is. The guy's a nitty professional. How are we doing on time? 37 minutes. My hope for this video is to have someone chill away to this video, and hopefully it's one of those situations where you watch for half an hour, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, and it feels like 20, if you know what I mean. Hopefully I can achieve that with this video. It's a very different format to my regular kind. I'm usually quite neurotic with all the small edits, small cuts, making sure everything sounds good, looks good, flows well. But today it's the opposite of that. We're just going for a very, very chill live play. This ace king I was autopiloting. Busy talking about how I planned the video to be. Okay. I expect to either lose to an underpair, or I'm going to check raise the river. Oh, we check shoving as well here. It's a very hard call for him. Wow. How you go really? I feel like he knows my screen name, because that's a really bizarre play. But it's also not bluffed, so we'll just fold. Why would you bluff in that way? I don't understand. So, I'm not going to level myself. Just going to make it fold. Nothing more. It doesn't make sense. But you have to understand that it doesn't make sense exploitatively for him to bluff either. I don't think people stab half pot, check the 5, and then overbet stab the river as a bluff. And there are some value hands that make sense, like boats, for example, pocket 6s. He could check back with the boat, trying to let me catch up. So, or he could just have a queen. That feels very comfortable to value bet. So yeah, I'm just not going to look into it. Sometimes things can feel off. It's up to you to figure out, is it off in a weak way or a strong way? Because sometimes a strong looking play can be weak, and sometimes a weak looking play can be strong. So you got to figure out where you are. In that hand, that strong looking play to me ends up being very strong. Could be wrong, but that was my read. But that's not always the case. Like with the 8-5 earlier, it's a strong looking check raise that he made on the flush plus straight river, yet I deemed it to be weak. Do I 3-bet or call? I think I just call with this recreational behind me. Lead flop. Pay attention to his response. Okay, foot is fine. Never mind, I returned a boat there. I wish he had continued. But if he snap calls, he doesn't have jacks and queens and kings, at least less often. Do you have to lead that spot on the flop? You don't. Is it terrible to lead? No. Is it terrible to check? No. Everything is kind of okay, is on the table. Guy looks like a professional here. Okay, we'll call one straight with the king 9. I'm not thrilled about this, to be honest, but I'm not going to fold just yet. Very easy fold and turn if he bets. Reason why I fold the turn is that he has to bluff pre-flop. I don't think he's bluffing enough pre-flop in order to bluff that board, so I'm not going to fall for the bait, at least what I believe is a bait. Try and go multi over deuces, seems better than raising. Interesting board here. King 8 will mix it up, raise this time. Deuces, I'm going to go for the bluff, I'm going to go for a big sizing. I block both ace deuces as well here with my suits, which is quite nice. Call, definitely going to be... This is going to be an all-in for me. Yeah, it's a really nice spot to be going for it. I wish I'd sized down the turn a bit, but whatever. Still a really, really exceptional spot just to rep something quite strong there. Plus he snap called the flop. If he had a good hand, he would think about raising. Pocket jacks in the dream. Okay. Well, we'll be raising it up. Damn it. 4 bets. Seems bluffy to me. Don't know why, it just does. I think I'm getting a fold here. Actually, probably not. He would have folded already. Oh, he does fold. Good fold. Right, this guy is... I should be folding this one, right? Guys behind me can have something. Yeah. So why did I think that was weak? Firstly, what I'm going to say, don't take it so literally. I didn't know. It was just an instinct that I have. Or that I had. I don't claim for that to be always right. It's not always going to be the case. Again, don't think in absolutes. Anyway, getting to it, the reason why I felt it was weak is that, firstly, he's a professional. He looks to be a professional. Secondly, I've made a small 3-bet which might look weak to him. And thirdly, he took a long time. And fourth, he didn't go for a big sizing. So he's a professional. with a wide range. He took a long time before 4-betting. Some players would just snap 4-bet aces and kings, and he didn't go too big, and we're a bit deeper pre-flop as well, if you didn't notice. So I felt like that would wake him to more bluffs than aces and kings, because he might size up or go with them faster. I am not thrilled about this, but I'm not folding just yet. I'm certainly folding the river though. 10-8. Go with an overbet here. I should have bet faster, to be honest with you. This is not a great bluffing spot because he could just have a 9 that checks back flop with second pair and rivers and turn strips. Absolutely could have that. At the same time, I did have a legit bluff there with the gut shots. So that's the reason why I've done that. Hope you guys don't mind the tagging. This is hopefully good instruction for you because, sure, I won't play this board again. I mean, probably will actually for the video. But this is how I come up with the stakes. Hopefully playing good poker and playing very, very, very attentively. Watching what they're doing. I would say one of my biggest strengths as a professional is I am very, very curious. I am not someone that autopilots. I've always been a very, wow, it's annoying. 38 VPIP, 30% 3-bet. Oh man. I want to call, but this is just probably just not a call, right? Yeah. Just looks like ace king, and I need to see some random stuff. Maybe I'm going to see random stuff, but I still think it's a fold. Kings, I just don't think the value is there to bet. And cool, nice hand. The ace is chopping here, so if he's got ace jack or ace 3 or whatever, he doesn't want to bet because I can't call with a better ace, or I can't call. Yeah, he doesn't beat my kicker, so I think I'm going to see a lot of random aces that check the river there. This guy looks to be way too wide. Definitely be calling. Yeah-oh. Love you, Luke, and then call 4 bets. We'll watch what happens. Definitely mark this guy. This guy should never check the flop with a good hand here. Should always bet against the 2 recreationals. Nice bets. Squeeze it up with this king 10, expecting the small money to be dead money here. He would definitely 3-bet versus the cutoff with a strong hand. You would want to isolate them, so this looks to be a really free squeeze. Looks like I would have won the hand here. I don't like ever folding the spots as button. If you've got kings or whatever, you should just, wow, he had queen 7 off, gangster. Nice hand. What was I saying? Oh, anyway, it doesn't matter because I was talking theoretically. The guy just had queen 7 off. Nice. This is a loose open with the 8-4. I saw 8 VPIP on the big blind. I think for the most part I've been pretty in line pre-flop. Yeah, I don't think I've made too many adjustments. I think all my adjustments really have been post-flop, to be honest with you. I was speaking about how one of my strengths, I would say my biggest strength is that I'm very, very curious. In fact, a lot of the time when I'm doing private coaching, it often, at the end of the coaching course, it comes to the idea of someone being, or aiming to be very, very curious. Because I think when you're playing professional poker and you're playing against humans, humans make a lot of mistakes. It doesn't really matter what level you're playing. People just make mistakes. I should check this. Yeah. People make mistakes all across the board. I've played up to NL20k online, and even at those games, there are still players making mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. Even the best in the world make mistakes. So it's your job to be very, very, very curious and interested with what your villains are doing. What was their timing? What was their sizing? What do you think that means in relation to the situation? Because sometimes a fast, big bet is weak, and sometimes a slow, small bet is strong. It's really up to you to be a detective about everything and use your intuition, because you are against humans. You're not against a machine. So your intuition is one of your, if not your most powerful tools. That being said, you should still try and learn the theory, because it's a very good tool to exploit with. Okay, this is a pretty good turn. Generically good turn. He thought about leading here. Did you see his tank check there? It wasn't really a tank, but he thought about it. Going to get a few less folds for that reason. But I have a really good draw, so I'm going to go ahead and bet it. But this, if you watch back the video there, you'll notice he called the flop, and then he saw the 7, and he didn't snap check. He thought about it for maybe 1.5 seconds. Usually that 1.5 seconds is an indicator that they saw the turn and liked it, and maybe went to bets, maybe didn't go to bets, but there was a consideration from them. And in online poker, that is always quite strong, because the times they don't connect with the turn, they just snap check, because they didn't consider anything. This is not a good board for me. This guy is also a fan of the channel, so we need to be careful. I expect he has no checks on turn now. He's always going to bet. $4x. 26-14. So he's some kind of recreational. Okay, so against this, I'm just going to call, actually. 4x is usually very strong. And yeah, I'm going to proceed with caution. 4 call seems like a fair price. If he checks, I'm definitely checking back here. This guy was wanting to VPIP every hand. Okay, so we have to pay attention now. This is a little bit worrying. 11-6-0. Okay. I think we definitely come over the top here. We're going to have a four-way all-in. I don't think I can call. So I'm calling... I cover everyone, obviously. I'm calling 80 for 400. I need only 20% equity here, approximately. I'm not calling. I'm calling 80 into 300, so... I need, like, what, 27% equity or something? I doubt I've got that. I have not got it against those two hands, that's for sure. No 10. Oh, he gets bad beat as well. Jack? I would have beat him, though. Alright, 9-8. 3-bet got cold called, checking. Sorry, I was autopiloting there. I was paying too much attention to this hand. Snap check. Alright, so this is now just mine. This pot is absolutely my hand. Snap check is good. Snap check is good. I'm not saying it's impossible for them to call the turn, but they're not going to call the river. That's an annoying river card, but they don't really have many fives, let's face it. So we'll just go with 51.2, 10 blinds more than the pot. It's going to get a lot of folds. It's very unlikely for them to have a 5 here. I do block the folding range, 9s and 8s. Don't care. Still think that bet looks strong. Sometimes what you need to do, this is particularly at low stakes, is you need to care less about your story. So whether or not your story makes sense. And more about just scaring the living crap out of them. Because sometimes all you've got to do is scare them. And sometimes scaring them is just by betting or raising really, really big. And that will do the job done. They won't think about it so objectively. They're just so busy being scared that they click fold before they work out that it doesn't really make much sense. This is weird. I bet he check calls, leads big. I don't know what that means. I've got a pretty bad hand to call with. I do block 10-8 if he's ever got that. I block a load of random bluffs, but moreover, it's just, yeah, it doesn't really make any sense. Looks to be a professional, but yeah, I'm just not folding my hand here. What do you have? 5s. Okay, it makes sense. I don't know if they're professional or a fish, because they've got really reggy stats, but at the same time, it's such an absurd play. Maybe a fish reg. Yeah, I'm not going to be folding that. It just doesn't make sense for them to check call, lead big. Okay, sure, they had pocket 5s. That's kind of what they're telling me. I only need to be right, like, what? 30-odd% of the time? 39% of the time? 37% of the time? Approximately. So, he's got to have pocket 5s really often for my call to be not winning there. Provided I don't see random other hands like random ace 10s and random set of deuces, whatever the flop was. I don't think I do. I think people wouldn't go with a check call and then lead big. It doesn't really make any sense. And also ace 10 may not go so big on the 8 pair. So yeah, he really only reps pocket 5s there. So I like the call. Ace 8s, we'll just fold, I guess. Got some equity, but not enough facing a UTG range from a supposedly tight player and betting half pot. This actually leads me to a next discussion. We started the session pretty hot, if I can say that. We had a few good hands, made a few good reads, played a few good pots. And then I feel like for the last 10 minutes or so, it's been a bit dry. You can actually see I've got the ice cube graphic here, which signals that we're running a bit cold. I think we're definitely up for the session. Maybe not, actually. We lost the ace 5 into jack 10. So maybe we're not winning, although that's just a complete caller, so you really shouldn't consider callers. Anyway, online poker is a marathon, not a sprint. So I sat down, I won every hand, I was pretty happy, and now it's not going so good. And I'm still happy, right? I'm still happy, I'm still playing poker, life is still good. I don't take the last 20 minutes or 15 minutes personally. I understand that's part of the grind. So try not to be so, I guess what I'm saying here is if you're someone that is affected by how your session's currently going, try not to be. Try to be, that's a nice term. Try to be understanding that this is a long run for you, not a game of 20 minutes at a time. This is going to get a lot of folds. At the same time, I've got to raise, I've got the nuts. So yeah, it's just one of those situations. I'm not going to shove because I think shoving gets way too many folds here. I'm just going to go B70 and then probably size up a bit. So let's say 49 and get a bunch of hopefully crying calls from ace-x. Cool. Yeah, I expect the half pot turn is going to be quite capped. I can definitely check raise turn, shove river as a bluff. At the same time, I do need to also value raise there because he's going to check back the river too much. So it's one of the few times that I'm going to put my bluffs and value in the same decision on the turn. I kind of have to. I'm bluffing because I expect him to hold the river, and I'm value raising because I expect him to not put enough money in on the river himself. So yeah, in any case, I'm bumping the pot for two different reasons. Going to go for a large 3-bet here. He's probably opening too wide into a short stack big blind. And he might be professional. Looks to be one. So yeah, probably going to get too few 4-bets and too many opens. Makes 4 an okay play in my opinion. Going to go for a check and pay attention to what happens. It's not ideal. 18-9-1. Yeah. Double gut shots. Gonna bet big twice. Okay, what we're gonna do here is bet a third pot, and I'm gonna presume he would raise hearts. So if he doesn't raise me here, he's gonna fold the river. If he folds the turn, that's great. I actually wasn't really betting on him folding turn, but obviously that's part of the game as well. This is not a play. I'm going to do it anyway. I need to see his response. If he snap calls my raise, I'm going to bomb the turn because he's not got a queen. It's kind of what I'm hoping on. Let's see what they do. Very wide player apparently, or they're 4 hands. Nothing to take into account. Great, because they don't really have many flushes. Gonna bet turn, bet river here. Didn't even get a chance to bet the river. Interesting. Going to pot. If you actually run this in a solver, the pots are pretty good size. You also can go 2/3 as well. People think of this board as a range bet for a small sizing, but it's not supposed to be. You can exploitatively range bet, but in theory, you're supposed to size up to 2/3, if not pots. I think I'll just go for a small bet on turn here. 5th pot. I expect him to check the turn too much, so I need him to put money in. With like king, queen or something. Flush draws. Going to lead. This is not ideal here. But yeah, I think I'm just shoving. I don't see why I wouldn't be. He can also still bluff with a hand like king, queen. If he does call, I've got equity. Queen 10. Queen 10 of clubs. That's a really bad hand to see. Run it once for the video. Try and double up. Nice hand. I lead here with some backdoors. Against a likely recreational player because he's short stacked. Yeah, I don't mind the ace-5 there. He can have bluff still. He can have just like random king-queens that has top pair, sees a terrible turn, sees a small sizing and turns itself into a bluff. And look, I've got top pair with a flush draw. It's not going to be the worst play in the world. Alright, guys, I've just realised I've been recording for 1 hour and 2 minutes. So we'll play the last orbit. Hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, please do leave the video a like. I probably should have asked for that a bit earlier. It's been a whole hour. Maybe no one's watching by now. But yes, if you did enjoy the video, please leave the video a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Gonna probably play an interesting hand here to finish up with the 9/8. We'll start with a half pot bet and we'll proceed from there. Snap calls. 7, 8, 9. I'm not sure what I want to do on the turn here. King Jack, 21.7. Okay. I'm checking the check here. The problem is there's a lot of ace 7, ace 9. Oh wow. Okay, I think I'm shoving here. It's very unlikely for him to call me. Yeah, this is such a good bluff spot. Such a good bluff spot. I rep a 10, and I get him to fold an ace. So I think the spot's good. Here, admittedly, I did not see this guy stack. I've completely lost that detail. I think we're going to call here and hope to hit some equity, otherwise fold. So I called. This guy squeezes, and then it goes call, call, and then lead. Yeah, this is a dumb situation for sure. If I'm behind, I've only got 5%. If I'm ahead, I'm pretty far ahead. I lose to like random pocket 8s and stuff as well. Yeah, it's like there's going to be spaz factor in there, but he looks to be pretty tight over 20 hands, so I don't think the spaz factor is there. So we'll give it to him. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention. Pre-flop I called because of the big blind, who was a high VPIP. But yeah, then after that I autopiloted. Wow, splash pots exist? We haven't seen even one of them. Okay, 10 blinds in the middle. Ace 4 seems pretty good. I think I'm shoving this. I'm only playing 100 blinds now, so I think I'm going to be in there. You guys can tell me if I'm wrong. I have no idea about splash pots. I play bomb pots, but I don't play splash pots. This honestly, ace suited ace. I mean, it's basically the nuts. What's the worst that could happen? Oh, that doesn't seem like the worst option. Nice. So I'm very surprised that I got dealt into a splash pot there, because I must have played like 500 hands and I didn't even see one of them before that. Okay, guys, hope you guys have enjoyed. I'll check up the graph on screen if you are interested. And if you'd like to see more of these, leave a comment down below and like the video, and I'll be sure to make more of these in the future at different stakes, higher stakes, lower stakes. Let me know mainly if you enjoyed the vibe of the video. The idea of this was for it to be a chill, one-take video of me playing poker. So let me know if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye for now.